Thank you all for being here today. My name is Terry Tamminen, the President and CEO of AltaSea. I want to thank our staff and volunteers who put the program on today. Give them all a great big round of applause. Especially our volunteers. We could not do this without them. And if any of you would like to be part of the fun, we encourage you to volunteer. Anybody in one of the blue shirts or who's wearing a name tag like this or one of these caps, be sure to ask them how to get involved. We sure could use your help. As a nonprofit, we succeed on the legs and the hard work of our many volunteers. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to our community partners who are here. We were going to have a few words from Councilman Tim McOsker, but I think he's running late, so we'll insert him in the program later. I want to recognize, I think Harbor Commissioner Lee Williams is here somewhere. Lee, are you here? He's always here. All right, well, in absentia, we appreciate you. I think Sean Kearns, representing Congressmember Nanette Barragan's office, is here. Sean, where are you? Raise your hand. Okay, I see him in absentia. Kelly Cross, representing Supervisor Janice Hahn. Kelly, where are you? All right, also probably wandering the halls. I do know for sure Brian Martinez, representing our new state senator Laura Richardson, is right here. And she is new, so if you have any ideas, any things that you think we should be doing in this district, go see Brian. He'll make it happen. As I just said to somebody else, you know, I used to work in state government, so I can tell you that the staff is much more important than the elected official. So, yeah. We also have at least one of our trustees here today, Geraldine Natz. There's Geraldine. Big round of applause. And thank you to any of our other trustees. I think probably none of the others are here today, or at least not yet. We also want to note Ursula Moran of AT&T is here. Ursula, where are you? Somewhere here nearby. Ken Chalkins is here, another great community leader. Jack Hedge, Alex Spatteroo. And I particularly want to welcome Scott Houston of West Basin. Scott, where are you? There he is, right there. Let us start by recognizing the land that we're standing on, the unceded territory of our First Nations. Representing them today is our cultural advisor, Tina Calderon. Tina?
Good morning. Netwanya ne Tina Orduno Calderon, komikra betnaha tongve, koi mix kanakan, koyo eme, koi chicana, awesh koneha ko avomanete hovetamet. What I'm saying to you in the language of my peoples that were spoken right here in this place is, hello, my name is Tina Orduno Calderon. I'm Gabrielino Tongva, Ventureño Chumash, Yoeme, and Chicana, and I'm really happy to be here with all of you today. So how many of you knew that this is considered Tongva lands and Tongva waters? Oh, good, good. People are educating themselves. I love it. Yeah, so our original village in this particular area is Swanga, but there were many villages up like on these little hillsides that are now filled with homes. There were villages scattered all over, so we had many villages. And these waters, so critically important, you know, not only because it's food and it sustained us, but we had a reciprocal relationship with the ocean and with the lands and with everything, because reciprocity is like one of our key laws. And that means like you don't take anything without first asking permission. And you don't take anything without first leaving a gift. And you never take more than you need. And what you take, you make sure that you share with the elders and those who are unable. So that was like, it still is a very big part of our way of being. And so yeah, this territory here is Tongva, but it's not just here and it's not just the LA Basin. We actually had a very large territory going from San Fernando Valley all the way south into Orange County to Newport Beach, east along the Santa Ana River, which we call Cahopa Height, the Long River, up into Riverside County, parts of San Bernardino County, and then along the foothills again back to the valley. And then we also held the 4 Southern Channel Islands. And one of the most important ones, many of you visit now because boats go out there, and that's to Catalina Island, which was our village of Pimungna. We actually had a couple villages there, but Pimungna was like the main source. And yeah, so there was a very important soapstone quarry there. And so that's one of the things we would trade with them. We would take them things they couldn't get from the mainland, and we would go and trade for the soapstone that we didn't have access to here. And so when you read the diaries of people who came to our shores, they noticed that the women always had these beautiful green necklaces, and that was the soapstone. Also, the serpentine jade. Serpentine jade is really important. So that's a little bit about the Tongva people. I'm really happy to see you all here. This is just such a wonderful, wonderful place. I'm really enjoying being the cultural advisor to AltaSea. I love how they're so open and wanting to help the environment. And so for all of you who are also doing those kind of works, thank you. Awesh koneha, because we need that help. We're a little tribe. We're still, attending really important meetings and talking to government and trying to improve the environment and trying to, like with these fires. It's not just about rebuilding, it's about everything coming back, the lands coming back, the plant life coming back, and the plants that are supposed to be here that would have caused a fire break, that wouldn't have allowed that fuel, right? So there's a whole lot of information that we're trying to disseminate and hope that people help us to bring everything back to life. And again, it's not just about rebuilding buildings, but if we're gonna do that, can we make them safer, like less toxicity, all of that stuff, right? So yeah, a lot of work to be done. And what I'm gonna do is briefly just offer an ancestor song, and then I'll turn it back over. I'll do one that's very well known in our community, so if you happen to have heard it before and know it, feel free to sing along. Tai hunu kanesheneshun, tai hunu kanesheneshun, neha kwaneshun naha kwae, naha kwaneshun naha kwae. Tai hunu kanesheneshun, tai hunu kanesheneshun, neha kwaneshun naha kwae, naha kwaneshun naha kwae. Tai hunu kanesheneshun, tai hunu kanesheneshun, neha kwaneshun naha kwae, naha kwaneshun naha kwae. Tai hunu kanesheneshun, tai hunu kanesheneshun, naha kwaneshun naha kwae, naha kwaneshun naha kwae. Thank you, thank you. Awesh koneha. So that song acknowledges our ancestors. Tai Hunuka is my ancestor, and then it talks about how they hug our hearts. Because everywhere we go, we feel them. We let them lead us. And so it's not just our ancestors, humans that lived here, but it's all life that lived in the 4 directions. It's your ancestors, it's the plant relatives, it's the animal relatives, it's the minerals, it's the waters, all the sacred elements, right? So much gratitude. Again, it's really good to see you all, and enjoy your day. I wish koneha.
I failed to mention, I didn't realize that she was here, Yolanda De La Torre where's Yolanda, who is one of our harbor commissioners. There she is. Yolanda, welcome. And are there any other harbor commissioners who snuck in without telling me? All right, thank you so much. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dejana Figueroa, a marine scientist who serves as the Innovation and Design Chair and Science Teacher at Chadwick School. Dejana also spends a great deal of time right here at AltaSea in the Chadwick Ocean Institute, teaching marine science to Chadwick students, as well as local schools in San Pedro. And known as the Deep Ocean Doctor, Dejana appears in James Cameron's Aliens of the Deep and Shark Week. And she will now introduce some of the work that she's doing with the students and an amazing exhibit that's right behind us. Dejana?
Well, good morning, everyone. How's everybody today? Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be sharing a few things with you today. In addition to my role here, I am also the acting director of the Chadwick Ocean Institute, which is an initiative from Chadwick School to partner with this amazing place called AltaSea to create space for our youth in all of our communities to connect with the ocean and the innovations that are happening and the solutions that are being made right here in our community for our future. So I want to share a little bit with you about the Chadwick Ocean Institute and then give you an introduction to some of the amazing work done by local students to create a space that honors their love and commitment to the ocean and highlights their engagement in science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So a little bit about the Ocean Institute and what we're trying to do here. The Chadwick Ocean Institute at AltaSea is an initiative that truly reflects the mission to develop global citizens and leaders ready to take on some of the world's most pressing challenges. These challenges include the current and future health of our ocean. At its heart, the Ocean Institute fosters curiosity, leadership, critical thinking, and essential tools that students need to address complex issues like ocean sustainability, environmental conservation, etc. What's happening now is we are at a great place where now we can come and work in the same location as innovators, engineers, scientists, researchers, communicators, all coming together here at AltaSea in the Port of Los Angeles to work on solutions. We get to create space for our youth to be a part of that work. I want to recognize a few people that are in this space that help make this actually possible. First, to the leadership of AltaSea, let's give them a hand. Terry, Jenny, Robin, and Alan. Thank you so much for your dedication and commitment to creating spaces for young people to engage in the work that's happening here. All of you here today, I want to thank you for being here because you get to join us as we celebrate some of the work of our local young people. So today you'll have the opportunity to see an exhibit that we call Science Meets Art, where students explored the world of sharks through creativity and discovery. The work that you're gonna see here includes art featured from 4th grade students at local Barton Hill Elementary School and also 3rd grade students from Chadwick School. About this project, our young scientists and artists collaborated together to bring sharks and shark conservation to life. Working in teams, they researched shark species and why sharks might be important to our local communities. From there, they selected a shark and designed a 3D model using blueprints. They measured their blueprints carefully, transferred those blueprints to cardboard, cut each piece out, and constructed an internal structure using engineering and design skills. From there, they embraced their artistic and creative side and engaged in paper mache to transform their sharks into 3D models that had life and color. The whole point of this expression was to hopefully show the public that they're committed to being shark conservationists and they want to help tell the story about sharks. This exhibit showcased the incredible work of these budding marine biologists, artists, engineers, and community members. It blends science, technology, engineering, art, and math to deepen ocean literacy, connect us with the environment, and hopefully, as you spend time in there, make you feel calm and give you a smile. I want to again thank AltaSea for the opportunity to allow the Chadwick Ocean Institute to host an art exhibit that features and highlights the work of our local young people and how they're connecting to the ocean. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dejana, and thank you so much to Chadwick. Give them another round of applause. We've had the pleasure to meet some of the students, and they're so bright and so enthusiastic, and it is kind of great to see their eyes light up when they realize that these are careers they could go into marine science and working with sharks and things like that. So really exciting. Before I introduce our featured speaker today, I want to just also, for those of you that may not be familiar with AltaSea, just tell you briefly about the space you're sitting in and what we do. As you know, we're a nonprofit dedicated to the blue economy and educating both the next generation, as you just heard, about this ocean planet, where 70% of our planet is ocean, not land, and the next generation of workforce and entrepreneurs that will be sustainably using our ocean. And so here at AltaSea, when we talk about the blue economy, we're talking about how we're going to be getting our food, our fuel, our pharmaceuticals, all kinds of great things from the ocean, from things like kelp and seaweed, how we're going to be getting clean energy from things like wave and tidal energy, and how we're going to understand that 70% of the planet better with things like underwater robotics and drones, things like the Blue Robotics Company. If any of you are not familiar with Blue Robotics, they are really amazing. You can go build your own underwater drone and then test it out right here at AltaSea. So that's very exciting. So really understanding that, understanding underwater construction techniques, anything to do with the blue economy, we want to support right here at AltaSea. In these 110-year-old warehouses, which we've just finished spending $30 million to renovate, we cleaned up all of this 110-year-old infrastructure, put in these translucent doors out onto the wharf, the glass doors onto Signal Street. So now each one of our tenants will be able to come in here and design their space, have their own entrance, and then all of these spaces will be filled out over the next few months. So keep coming back to our open houses, and you're going to see more and more tenants coming in. In Berth 58 right now, our kelp lab, Dr. Sergey Nuzhtin. Where is Sergey? I saw him here earlier. Raise your hand, Sergey, wherever you are. Wave. Anyway, he's here somewhere. There he is, way in the back, waving. Kelp Arc and our amazing kelp lab, which is figuring out, as I said, how to extract food and fuel and medicines and all kinds of things from kelp, especially how to grow it commercially in a warming, changing ocean. So very exciting things. And the last thing I'll mention before we get on with the program is if you want to get involved, as I said earlier, you could come be a volunteer, but you could also go see Shanella. Shanella's right back there. Wave, Shanella. She's right back there, and that wave, Shanella and Michelle waving back there. They've got some great swag. You too could own one of these beautiful blue t-shirts or a tote bag or one of these great caps and support the cause or become a member of AltaSea. Please consider doing that. Obviously, as a nonprofit, we need your support. Well, now it's my pleasure to introduce Arevon Senior Director of Community Relations, Trish Evans. And Arevon is a national company developing high-performing solar, which is energy we're going to need, and other renewable energy storage. Obviously, the sun doesn't always shine, so we need to be able to store that energy. They're a market leader in the development of utility-scale energy storage and clean energy solutions. Please welcome Trish Evans.
Thank you. Maybe I won't spill that before it's all over. I tend to talk with my hands. Good morning. And I got my watch up here, Robin, so if I start to go over time, you can tell me if I don't look. I promise I'll try my best not to. Make sure this is on. So as Terry said, I work for a utility-scale solar and battery storage company. We are based out of Scottsdale, Arizona, with an office in New York as well. We have approximately 160 projects over 20 states. That's about enough capacity to power 1 million homes for a year. Currently, right now, I hate PowerPoints. I tend to want to read them. I told him I didn't want to do a PowerPoint. We changed it 3 times, and I want to read it, and I feel like I'm insulting your intelligence by reading this to you. So I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to skip to the pictures and do my talk. How about that? This is what I want to talk about. So it was about a year ago, I think, I met Robin and Jenny, and I came and toured AltaSea. And I knew the moment I walked in the doors and they took me on a tour out here that this was something that my company is going to be involved in. The things that they are doing out here just blew me away. And I left, and Nathan, who's my consultant here, I said, I don't care what we do here, but we've got to do something. This just makes sense for what we're doing. One of the things I'm very most proud about my company is our commitment to our communities. We believe that we're going to be in your area with one of our projects 20 to 30 years, and we want to be a good neighbor. We want to be part of your community. We don't want to just give you dollars. We want to give you our time. We want to invest in what's going on. What are your needs? Some of the things we get involved in, and the big one is STEM. That's where my heart is. The other one is our fire and safety, our first responders, emergency responders, and then of course poverty alleviation, which sadly hits a lot of our communities where we operate across the United States. As we came into the area, we have a project that's going to go outside of Carson, out on Almeda Road. It's going to be a battery storage project, and it's going to power about 50,000 homes for 4 hours when needed during brownouts or such things when the electricity goes off. So about half of Carson is going to get 4 hours of electricity due to this battery storage project. When I talk about education and what AltaSea does here in educating our youth, making sure they have the skills that they need to do what we're doing, it's not just the kids that need the education, it's also us. My path was very, very different than probably a lot of people that come into renewable energy. Yes, we're going to educate our youth, but when we're building projects, it's a lot of the times the adults in the communities that need some education as well. When I first started or heard about renewable energy, I live in Oklahoma, so that can give you some context there. And I was working in conservation in the USDA, working on the farm bill, working with the landowners. I grew up on a farm. I was raised there my whole life, most of my adult life. And never hardly left the farm. And I was working in the office one day, and this gentleman comes in, and he said, hey, I sure would like to talk to your board. We got a project coming through here, and I would like to talk to your landowners. And I was like, okay, what's the project? And he goes, well, we're building this transmission line, 720 miles, panhandle of Oklahoma, all the way to the Tennessee Valley. And we're connecting to wind farms. I knew very little about a wind farm. I saw them in western Oklahoma, saw the landscape, and thought, that's cool. They kind of looked like a monster movie to me when I drove down the highway. And I never thought any more thing about it. And then when he asked me about that, and I was like, yeah, I don't think we're really interested in listening, because you really know that's a fad, don't you? Like, that's not going anywhere. It's not going to do anything. The people that got into it early, they're the ones going to make the money, and it's not going to do anything for our state. And he goes, I really would like to talk to your landowners. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, you're not going to. He bugged me and bugged me till I finally said, okay, I'm going to put you on the agenda, and you're going to talk to my board, and then we're going to be done. Okay? Can we agree with that? He said, okay. Get him on the board, comes in, tells his whole story about what it's going to do, how many homes this is going to power, send, cheap energy down to the Tennessee Valley. And my board goes, oh my God, that's the most amazing project I've ever heard of. And I dropped my head and I was like, are you kidding me? And I had to apologize to him. And I was like, well, I guess so. And he said, Trish, I want you to get with him, go to some open houses, help him meet our legislators here, our county commissioners, chamber. I want you to introduce him to everybody. And I was like, oh my God, I just told this man he's got a fad project, and now I've got to introduce him to all of our people. So I did, and through this, I got educated what renewable energy is and what it's going to do for our country. We became very, very good friends, and he said, if I ever need somebody to work for my company in Northeast Oklahoma, I'm calling you. 5 years later, down the road, he gives me this call. He goes, hey, you want to come work for us? And I said, you mean you're going to offer me a job when I told you it was a fad and now you want me to work for you? And he goes, well, if I can educate you and change what you're thinking through education, then I absolutely want you working on my team. So I worked in transmission for several years. As it goes, sometimes they sell the project, you move on. One of the guys I worked with actually went to another company called Enel North America. He offered me a job to come work, and I could stay in Oklahoma and work where I was from. And I got into wind, actual operating wind farms, where I learned so much more. And then we started to get into solar and solar manufacturing. And then, as it happens, my home base was in Italy, and you get a new CEO of Global, then guess what? It's like getting a new president. We're gonna clean house. We're gonna change things up a little bit. We need to change our portfolios. We're gonna sell some. And we really don't think community relations is a thing right now. Broke my heart, totally broke my heart. Just so happened in my connections, Arevon needed a director of community relations, and I started there about a little over a year ago, and now I am in actual solar development now. Probably one of the pieces that I left out, but you probably guessed in Oklahoma, that oil and gas was a big deal in Oklahoma. We still need it. It's not gonna go away, but we've got to do something about the additional environment issues that we have and the energy needs that we need on the grid. It's coming, we can't do anything about it, and we've got to all be open and get educated. So I was an oil and gas family. I actually worked out there. My son to this day is an oil field inspector. And here his mom is going around talking about renewable energy. It's kind of cool, actually. Now I'm the person he says, oh, it's a fad, and I get told that sometimes now too, so it's kind of full circle, you know? So I say all of that to tell you my story, that I come up with some opposition sometimes, as you might imagine, in renewable energy, from Indiana to Michigan to California. I cover all of those states. And one thing I'm always very respectful of is that their opposition and hatred of your project doesn't really mean they do. It just means they're just not educated yet, and they just don't know. And they just need to be listened to. And if you take the time like that gentleman did and so persistent of educating me, then we can all come together with a solution for our environment and our energy needs that are getting greater and greater, as you all know. One of the things, I keep talking about the youth and what they do and how much they mean to everything that we do. As an industry leader, we are committed to making sure that we help youth. We have set up and established scholarships. Excuse me. We do career days. We spent a week at Carson High School with a project, it's called KidWin, but yet they do solar battery storage and things like that. And on my team, we spent a week with these high school students, educating them on solar and renewable energy and how that works. We set up solar cities. We actually hooked it up to some batteries and some voltmeters, and we connected it like we were connecting it to the grid. And they built their own little houses out of whatever we had. And to see kids get involved and get excited about things in STEM, especially renewable energy, is a big deal. And we've got to make sure that we are educating them and giving them the skills that they need after we're long gone, because they're gonna be doing what you and I do. And if we don't give them the proper skills and the education to do that, they're just gonna tear down what we're building up. One last little story before I introduce Ashley Days, which is a very important reason why I'm here. See, I didn't even go to any more slides, but there's some great pictures here. I just totally forgot it. Please don't tell Nathan Robin. Please don't tell him. He did cut it down from 18 to 7. I was so impressed. I said, you know I'm not going to talk about what's on that slide, right? Except this great stuff that we're involved with, Carson Boys and Girls Club. We help them with their STEM elementary program to give them iPads, to give students who otherwise wouldn't have access to STEM opportunities. And then we also, let me go back, I think this one, we set up a scholarship for Carson High School students for STEM that want to go to Cal State Dominguez Hills. Let's see what else is up there. We're part of the city, we belong to the chambers. We just get heavily involved in our communities. And you're part of this community, So if you ever want to reach out to me about an opportunity that you think we might want to be involved in, don't hesitate to call me and let me know. I'd be happy to sit down with you. And after all, I do love coming to this area. I'm a landlocked state, so when I get to come to the beach, I am all about working on Saturday. And the most beautiful place that I can be right now is here at the harbor with AltaSea. When I was headed here, Oklahoma, 30 minutes from the airport, I decided to carry on. I know my airport well. I know how long it takes to get through security. I know how long it takes to get to gates. I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna go late so I can sleep more because I had to leave at 5 a.m. for the flight, and I hurry up and I get there. Within 45 minutes of my flight, I'm doing good. I'm gonna have time to get coffee, whatever. Delayed flight. And I was like, okay, cool. It's okay, it's just 20 minutes, I can do this. All right, I go ahead and go through security, get in, 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes. Becomes 3 hours of in my own airport, 30 minutes from my house, and I could have slept longer. But at about the 30, 40 minute mark, I decided to get out my laptop and do some busy work to catch up on. And I'm doing some things, I'm reaching out to my team, and one of our analysts, I needed some things from him, and he was like, I am so sorry you're delayed and everything. And I was like, I know, it's what it is. I'm getting some work done, but can you get me this and get me that? And I said, I sure could have used some more sleep. And he goes, yeah, I get you. I understand that. And the thing he said to me after that meant so much to me, because he's a junior level in our company, but so smart. He said, but guess what? We get to do one of the best jobs in the world. And so my heart sank, and I was like, okay, I can sit here for a little bit longer with my flight delay when one of your team members that you're mentoring tells you he's got the most wonderful job in the world. So now I'm going to take the last few minutes. I want to talk about this great program at Cal State Dominguez Hills. It is a student-driven pitch contest. Ashley Days is here with us, and she is what we call we did a fellowship program. We have 2 students we picked. Ashley is a senior at Cal State, and she is one of our fellows. Jacoby could not be here today, but Ashley is here. She has some information about this competition. Arevon has committed $30,000 in prizes to the team or student that comes up with the best pitch. I'm gonna have Ashley come up here and tell you all about this. And so if you have some college students, not just Cal State, but any community college in the area, they can apply and compete for this pitch contest and get some cool prizes. So Ashley, come on up.
Hello, I'm Ashley. I am, as she said, a senior at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I am the part of the fellowship program with Arevon and Cal State. And we are putting on a pitch competition where we are inviting students, college students from wherever college they are, to come and present their ideas for renewable energy application in their community so that they can benefit socially or financially. And it's more about the application of the technology. We're not actually asking them to create the technology. The technology is already there. So how can we take that and put it into communities who need it and make it better for them? And it's going to be a shark-style pitch competition in April. We have workshops along the way to help foster participants. We don't want anyone to feel like they're alone or they don't know what they're doing. And we have speakers from Arevon who will come in and help as well. There are cash prizes. It would look amazing on a resume, but also just to help your community. So we're always looking for mentors as well as participants. So if you know anybody or you yourself are interested, please come by and grab one of these flyers. Thank you.
And I'm going to fast forward through all the slides. So if anyone knows Nathan, you can say I went through every single one of them, okay? But you might want this QR code because that's going to help you out if you have some kids who want to enter this pitch competition. So that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trish. That's really exciting, and it's so exciting to see so many young people here today learning that indeed our future is blue. I want to recognize Lee Williams. We mentioned him before, one of our harbor commissioners. When he wasn't here, we gave him a shout out, but now he's here. So you have two of our harbor commissioners here. If there's anything you want to say about the harbor, go talk to the two of them. And I also want to mention braid theory. Speaking of young people and helping entrepreneurs, Ann Carpenter is here from Braid Theory. Where's Ann? She's here somewhere, and obviously her colleagues from Braid Theory, they also help young entrepreneurs get started. So it's not just about established companies, wonderful companies like Arevon, being part of the solution to our sustainability and energy and climate crisis. It's also about somebody with just a good idea. And so with Cal State Dominguez Hill's help, we're going to get some of those good ideas into businesses and the workforce, and then maybe with Braid Theory's help, they could help take them to the next level. So I want to thank you all for coming. Again, we could sure use your help. If you want to get one of these great caps or t-shirts or become a member, please do that. If you want to become one of our ocean ambassadors and a volunteer, please do that. And importantly, mark your calendars for April 12th. That's our next open house. And every time you come here, I guarantee you're going to see more happening, more of our wonderful partners moving in. We'll be happy to show you around. And save the date for Blue Hour, which is our great big annual fun event. This year it's going to be focusing on food from the blue economy, and that's September 27th. So mark your calendar for that. And thank you all for coming. Again, I want to thank our staff, especially Robin Aubie, who helped put this on. Give her a great big round of applause. And once again, thanks to all of our great volunteers and to all of you for caring about the planet enough to take part of your Saturday and come on here. And of course, I know you're only here to see the sharks, so enjoy the exhibit. Thank you.